Welcome in A to Z Sports Primetime on this Tuesday evening. That's the wrong graphic. Bert, you better fix it. We're happy to have you in here for another episode of the Primetime Show, despite our ineptitudes. We have not a full Titans coaching staff, not quite. We're almost there, though. We have the bulk of the Titans coaching staff announced officially. Brian Callahan and his new two coordinators in Denard Wilson and Nick Holtz are going to speak to the media tomorrow. I'm going to turn the radio show over to Lucas for basically the last half hour so I can skirt on down to St. Thomas Sports Park and be a part of that press conference for you. And we have many questions to ask, but now officially guys like Bill Callahan announced as a part of the staff, Tyke Tolbert, some holdovers from Mike Vrabel's staff, more than probably many of you were anticipating to see, and in particular, some areas that we are going to talk about together that I thought were, I don't want to call it head scratching, but that I did find curious, and I'm looking forward to seeing how some of this stuff plays out. We will get into it together. We'll do the pros and the cons, and we'll enjoy each other's company. In the meantime, we always enjoy when you guys share this broadcast around on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. If you're hanging out on Twitter, please retweet the show. It's in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you're on Facebook Live, you can share now to public as I throw my mic pack across the desk. That is in the bottom left. And if you are on YouTube or on Twitch, please subscribe to the channel. We would appreciate it. And certainly we are going to get into a lot of interesting subject matter together. Major Keys, a less interesting subject matter, says, Buck, please get rid of that redneck fireman mustache, please. No, I'm keeping it all year. I don't know why the mustache is a thing, but the mustache is a thing. I'm the only person I know of my friend group that hasn't tried the mustache. And frankly, God help you all if I can pull this mustache off, because it was already an unfair advantage. And now if I've got a little facial fur here, if I can make that work, then, it's there is no thing that I cannot conquer if I can pull off a mustache. Now, also with that, I would like to be photographed with a mustache when we beat Matt Jones of Kentucky Sports Radio for the number one mid-market midday show of 2024, as is our stated goal. So when those pictures take place, I would like to have a mustache in them. I'm keeping the mustache all year long, and I bet I'm going to look damn good doing it. In fact, I look pretty good in the mustache. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a tough scene for the rest of y'all out here. Anyway, let's go ahead and get it going. Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time from the Zen Sports Studios. Bert got scared because Stephen King says, breaking news, Buck is single. No, you're 2 months behind. Are you kidding me? Keep up. Apparently we're running promos on the right. I didn't tell Bert this. Apparently we're running promos on the radio show talking about one of my ex-girlfriends. Either way, we are not here to talk about my dating status, although somebody did remind me that Valentine's Day is tomorrow. So I hope that you all enjoy Valentine's Day with your friends, family, and loved ones, although I guess it's just supposed to be your loved ones. It's not really for friends and family. Well, I don't know. I've seen a lot of Galentine's videos and stuff like that. I don't know what the guy version of Galentine's is, but either way, that doesn't matter. We're here to talk about a new Titan staff. Let's do it. Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time from the Zen Sports Studios. I'm your host, Buck Rising. I am proud, as always, to be presented to you by the wonderful folks at TrueMat Fitness in the Gulch. They can't help you get a great mustache, but they can get the best version of you with a new way to work out for the best version of you. Go to TrueMatFitness.com for your first workout free. And, of course, Zen Sports, where you can wager on college basketball. March Madness right around the corner. You can get in on all of your favorite major sports with the Zen Sports app. Up to $1,000 on that no danger first wager with the promo code ATOZTN. All right. We have a almost finished Titans coaching staff. And when they put out the announcement of them speaking, Callahan, Wilson, and Holtz tomorrow, the new Titans head coach and the two coordinators respectively, it was fair to expect that they were going to put out an announcement about them almost having finalized the staff. Now, again, the staff has not yet been finalized. There's still a handful of positions that need to be filled. There's still a support staff that needs to be put into place. But, just basically to summarize, they added 10 new coaches. They retained 11 total people. I think it's eight coaches and 3 strength and conditioning staff members from Mike Vrabel's staff. So just to refresh the list, New assistant coaches: Bill Callahan, offensive line; Tyke Tolbert, receivers; Randy Jordan, running backs; Bo Hardigree, quarterbacks; Peyton McCollum, the assistant wide receivers coach. Defensively, Frank Bush, who this is his third Titans coaching stint, or I guess third franchise coaching stint. He was with the Oilers, he was with the Titans, and now he's back with the Titans again. Steve Jackson, former Titans safety, Blaine Bishop's teammate; Tracy Rocker, defensive line; and Ben Bloom, who will coach the outside linebackers. Tom Jones joins the staff as the assistant to the head coach. Then the people who were retained in this, and by the way, the Two Rivers Ford take, before I read the staff members who were retained under Mike Vrabel's staff, because there are quite a few of them. There's 11 of them in total that have been announced. We'll do that here in just a second. Your Two Rivers Ford take, though, is where I'd like to start. What is the biggest pro that you see on the new Titans coaching staff? Let me know in the comments on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. What's the biggest pro of the newly announced, almost finalized Titans coaching staff? We'll talk about it together right after I remind you that your Two Rivers Ford take is where you go, or rather your Two Rivers Ford take is presented by Two Rivers Ford, which is where you go for quality American-made Ford vehicles and award-winning customer service. Nobody does it better. Nobody's been doing it for 40 years in Middle Tennessee the way that Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet has. Go there online, go there to the dealership, go there and shop however you want to shop. They put you in the driver's seat to succeed at Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet, or online at tworiversford.com. I'm actually going to be out at Two Rivers Ford tomorrow before the radio show. We're shooting a new TV commercial, which I'm looking forward to. I have not yet informed them that I have a mustache, so perhaps I should take my razor with me tomorrow in case they are not pro mustache on somebody who's going to be in a television commercial for them. But either way, we'll see how it goes. I'm very happy we're reshooting the television commercial, because the last one I was in, I was very, very fat, and I don't like looking at it, and it still runs at like 3 a.m. on CNN. Either way, let's keep it moving. What are the biggest pros on the Titans coaching staff as you see them right now? Amar says diversity. So, I mean, that's not a new thing, right? Mike Vrabel's staff was diverse. Now, do you mean diverse in terms of race, ethnicity? Do you mean diverse in terms of experience and skill set? Do you mean diverse in terms of different places that these people have been pulled from? I'm not sure what specific diversity you're referencing there, but it is not an undiverse staff by any of those metrics. So that's always a good thing. A mix of the old and new school coaches, which is a different way to say diversity. One, Bill, says Brooks. Two, most of the hires are well qualified and were valued elsewhere. William Jones says age. That's the biggest pro. I don't know. So what about their age? Because they're all manner of different ages, right? Tyke Tolbert's been coaching wide receivers since 2004. Brian Callahan's like 39. So he's not young. He's not like Mike McDonald, who's the youngest head coach in the NFL right now. There is a diversity of age for sure. So you've got all kinds of age ranges and all kinds of experience ranges in a variety of different roles, which certainly can't hurt. We'll find out together. But I think that Dylan Cole says he deleted that comment. You can do that. I don't see them get deleted. Well, you can't delete them from me because I've got them here in front of me. So I think that's only a you thing if you want to delete your comments. Either way. So with that being said, Caleb Gray says Bill Callahan is the biggest pro. I'm inclined to agree with that being the biggest pro, because Bill Callahan is going to be tasked with fixing the worst position group on the Tennessee Titans roster. He's not going to be able to do it in 1 year. It's not going to be perfect. They're probably still going to be shitty at times because, oh my God, they have to replace at least 2 starters. I would love for them to be able to move on from Brunskill or get a better right tackle, because I don't think NPF's very good. But we'll see if some of that isn't salvageable under Bill Callahan. You're going to hear from one of his former players, Browns offensive lineman, Browns guard Wyatt Teller, who Jimmy Wyatt spoke with at the Pro Bowl this year. We'll do that here in just a second, right after I remind you that the Primetime program is presented by Zen Sports. Plug in that promo code ATOZTN. Get up to $1,000 on your no danger first wager. Whether it's basketball, hockey, all your favorite major sports are available for you. And if your Zen Sports play qualifies for VIP consideration, you can qualify for all kinds of comps, odds boosts, promo bets that are available to you in the Zen Sports VIP package. Terms and conditions do apply. Gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. They've got you covered at Zen Sports. Here is Browns guard Wyatt Teller at the Pro Bowl in Orlando 2 weeks ago, talking to Jimmy Wyatt of the team's website about Bill Callahan.
Bill Callahan was a huge part of my career. I learned a lot from him. Not only technique and fundamentals, but also how to be, pro. I wish the best for him. He's a hard coach, so I know that they're going to get their work worth down there. But I know that they're going to do great things. And with that running back and with Bill at the offensive line helm, they're going to do a good job. Like he teaches you not only technique and fundamentals, but also how to be a pro. I remember we came in COVID, and he just, the first couple meetings were just how, learning how to be a pro, showing up early, doing all the things, working, coming out early, leaving late, all the different things that he instills in his way. Yeah. I'm really happy that Brian got the job. Just the way that Bill talks about him, the couple times that I've ever shook hands with him, he's just an awesome dude. So hopefully he gets that team rolling, and with Coach Callahan, I know that it's going to be, those guys are going to be in a lot of work, but it's all going to pay off.
So that is Wyatt Teller at the Pro Bowl, speaking with Jim Wyatt. A very, very hard coach is what Wyatt Teller had to say, right? This is the definition of old school. If you thought that Mike Vrabel or Bill Belichick came from a different cloth that is no longer going to be a part of the Titans organization, I can assure you that Bill Callahan has a reputation of being incredibly demanding in ways that, modern day coaches may not be. But that is required. This is a unit that needs some hard coaching. This is a unit offensive linemen must be tough. They must be physical. They must be violent. And they must be technically sound. And Bill Callahan is here to help them rectify that situation. And so I would consider him the biggest pro on the roster. I would give second place to Tracy Rocker. I know a lot of people in the state of Tennessee are big fans of Tracy Rocker, and his return here will be a huge and heralded discussion that I think Jeff Simmons is going to love. It was a big replacement that they had to make with Terrell Williams, the former defensive line coach, longtime defensive line coach, and assistant head coach here. Tracy Rocker most recently was with the Eagles. He's been in the league for 32 years. He's had stops all over the place. He's done college. He's done pro. He's the University of Tennessee defensive line coach, and obviously was first on the NFL coaching scene with the Tennessee Titans from 2011 to 2013. They had Derek Morgan then, Carl Klug, Jarrell Casey. They were a really, really sound and young unit at the time. And Tracy Rocker is, also going to have to find ways to get the best out of I think they're going to have a bunch of different dudes this year, right? But beyond Harold and Jeff, who are under contract, we'll see what happens with Danico Autry. I'm not, overwhelmed. I'm not over the moon with Rashad Weaver. Arden Key is somebody that I could kind of take or leave. At this point, he flashes. He's a great quote, and I very much enjoy Arden as a person, but as a football player, he does leave a bit to be desired. You'd like to just see him perform more consistently. So Bill Callahan 1A, Tracy Rocker 1B, and we'll see how the rest of this stuff goes. Now, I mentioned that there were a handful of Mike Vrabel staffers that were going to be retained. There are 11 former staffers, 8 coaches, and 3 members of the strength and conditioning staff that are being kept. Chris Harris, who is formerly the cornerbacks coach, he's going to stay in that role as the passing game coordinator and cornerbacks coach. Justin Outen, who was the running backs coach last year, will move from running backs to tight ends. Anthony Levine, assistant special teams coach. Clint McMillan, assistant defensive line coach. Lori Locust is staying on as a defensive quality control coach. Kylan Butler, an offensive assistant. Matt Jones, an offensive assistant. Luke Stocker, former Titans tight end, an offensive assistant. And then from the strength and conditioning staff, Brian Bell, Tyler Rouse, and Haley Roberts. Frank Perano, who was the head of the strength and conditioning program, is not being retained. He is going to New York, apparently, to be the strength and conditioning coach of the Tennessee Titans. Of the New York Giants. So there's a lot. They don't have a special teams coach yet, a special teams coordinator specifically. They do have an assistant coach, but special teams coordinator still needs to be filled. The team has also previously announced, of course, defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator. Those two will speak tomorrow at 12:30. I'll leave the radio show early. Lucas will basically guide you in and out of the press conferences so that I can be physically at the press conferences to ask some questions and to meet the new coordinators and to get to know the new coach a little while. But it's kind of like dating, right? With Valentine's Day around the corner. Sometimes you turn over the parts. Sometimes you got to remind yourself about how it is that you remember how to man flirt, basically, with new coaches, new players, and all these different things. And I have to get to know a new coaching staff for the first time in 6 years. So I'm looking forward to getting to know a lot of these people for the first time. Of course, familiar faces who will be around, and we'll see whether this Tennessee Titans coaching staff can make a bigger difference than the last one did. I don't know if they're going to be capable of it in year one, because this is not an easy situation that they are tasked with fixing. Now, from pros, we have to do cons. What's the biggest con about the new Titans coaching staff, or the refurbished, refreshed, whatever it is, Titans coaching staff? What is the biggest con? We've done pros. Callahan and Tracy Rocker seem to get the most nominees. We'll discuss at length together right after I remind you that the Primetime program is presented by the wonderful people at TrueMath Fitness in the Gulch. TrueMathFitness.com for your first workout free as a Middle Tennessee resident. No workout ever recycled or repeated. A new way to work out for the best version of you. TrueMathFitness.com has you covered. Boot camp style group classes, 7 days a week, personal training, an awesome facility for you to sign up and just use their open gym as you like. If you are not into personal training or group classes, TrueMathFitness.com for that first workout free. Is the mustache key to your man flirting strategy? It does help. It's a conversation starter. It really is. I've only, I think I shaved obviously the rest of my face yesterday before radio, and I shaved my mustache on Saturday. So this is 3 days of growth. I think in a week, this thing is going to look it's either going to look disgusting or it's going to look really, really solid. I'm leaning towards the latter, but we'll find out. It is a conversation starter, though. So yes, we will keep the mustache moving forward. Josh Sabata says, biggest con is the personnel. They have to coach. Yeah, that's the biggest con about the Titans is the roster is still ass, right? Like this is not a situation that is enviable to take over. It's rare that coaches get fired with good football teams, and this is not the worst football team, but it's certainly not a good one. And it's not very, I don't know. They have their work cut out for them. Jody Newell says, no cons, unknowns. Well, they're not unknowns. They're, in fact, the most unknown commodities on your coaching staff are the head coach, the offensive coordinator, and the defensive coordinator. The rest of these folks have, legit, most of them have decades of experience doing these jobs. So really the only unknowns based on previous experience, and you can argue, Brian Callahan is an unknown, but he's never been a head coach before. He's never been a play caller before. Nick Holt's never been an OC before. Denard Wilson never been a DC before. So I think that there's plenty of experience on your coaching staff that's not the three people at the top of the food chain, ironically enough. The biggest con, as I see it, and it's going to be interesting to watch, 3 members of the Titans' previous strength and conditioning staff. Now, not the head of the strength and conditioning staff. And by the way, it has not been clarified here that Brian Bell, Tyler Rouse, or Haley Roberts are going to be the head of the strength and conditioning program for the Tennessee Titans. So maybe, there's still hires yet to be made on that front, like a special teams coordinator that they have yet to fill. But this is a team that has been ravaged by injuries. And what I will say, because there's not enough information for me to tell you anything solid about things that may have contributed to your rate of injury. I don't have any quantifiable evidence of them mismanaging it, but there is a lot of thought around Mike Vrabel and Frank Pirano not being at the forefront of some of the most important medical approaches or sports science or stuff like that that may indicate a change in some form or fashion. So I'm not going to outright tell you that the way that the Titans under Mike Vrabel handled things exacerbated the injury rate, but there is a lot of thought that inside the building that this will improve the level of availability that the Titans players and Titans roster will have. Keeping 3 members of the former strength and conditioning staff is an interesting note. I don't know that it's an outright con, but I know that the Titans strength and conditioning program is not highly regarded, and I know a lot of players who have gone elsewhere and spoken glowingly of medical staffs and medical situations and recovery methods and just the general day-to-day approach of all of this, particularly the Eagles. The Eagles have always kind of been cutting edge with that stuff, really, since Chip Kelly. People made fun of Chip Kelly for, doing individualized protein shakes and stuff like that for players based on their physical, their body makeup, their need, the sports science, based on the science, right? And now every NFL team does it that way. So Philly's always been kind of on the forefront of stuff like that. So it shouldn't be shocking that some places have better medical care than others. Just like, right, it's like your employment situation. There are probably some of you that have phenomenal benefits, and there are some of you who are probably, whether you're working on is Obamacare still a thing? I'm unfamiliar. I've never had to use it myself personally, so I don't know. I want to say that Obamacare is still a thing. I should probably revisit that at some point. But there's probably some of you who have phenomenal benefits. There's probably some of you who have bare bones coverage, right? Their NFL teams are the same that way. Injuries year one were one thing, but 3 straight seasons is a trend, says Brandon. Well, I mean, 2020 wasn't bad. 2021 and 2022 were bad. And 2023, I'm sorry. 2020. So 2021 through 2023 is what you're saying when they broke the record for the most players who dressed for them, and still made the 1 seed in the AFC through last season. Last season wasn't awful, wasn't good, but it wasn't awful. They, over the course of Frank Pirano's tenure there, they are ranked 30th in NFL games lost due to injury, 30 out of 32. So anytime you're 30 out of 32 in anything, it's not real good. We'll see if they can fix it. All right, a gone viral video to end the show. I'll remind you before we get to the gone viral video, what's the best thing? Well, the question that I have to ask you, what's the best thing you saw on the internet this week? While you do that, I will remind you that the Primetime program is made possible by the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. Go to GaryAshton.com and get your dream address without the stress. The intel edge you need to succeed can be found at GaryAshton.com. They will put you in position to succeed. So this is the gone viral video. For those of you who watched the Super Bowl, there was a streaker. You know that the streaker was very quickly removed from the field. What you don't know about the streaker is that he bet on himself to be the streaker. And while it cost him a $10,000 ticket to the Super Bowl, as you will hear in this TMZ interview, it ended up paying dividends for him because the man controlled his own luck.
The point was to make money as I was going to stream, right? Because, you could go to a bookie and you could bet if somebody's going to streak, and it would pay a lot. You could pay up to 1,000x. And I'm like, dude, this is a no-brainer. Now I'm gonna go to the Super Bowl. I'm already here at Las Vegas. I'm just gonna pull up, make money, and leave. Right. And I ended up going to UFC Apex. So I went backstage there. Dr. Phil was there, Danny Duncan, Nelk Boys, some really big names were there. And I was like hyping it up. I'm like, yo, you gotta get this bet in. I'm gonna streak the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be that guy this year. So all these guys were pulling strings to make that bet happen, and ended up happening that the bet doesn't exist. It's non-existent. And then I'm like, damn, I am in too deep at this point where I can't back out anymore. If I back out, it's not the type of person that I am. So I bought the tickets the day before the Super Bowl. They were 42,000. I got it for me and my friend because I had a plan set out.
$42,000?
Yeah, $42,000 for 2 tickets. Yeah, because we
Wow.
got front row. Yeah, we were front row because I knew if I were to do it alone, I'd get caught. So I had to get a decoy. So my friend was my decoy, and pretty much hours before we pull up to the game, we went to Dick's Sporting Goods. We bought cleats. We kind of pulled up to the actual stadium at 11:30 as soon as the gates opened. So we walked around the whole stadium. We scoped it out. Yeah, we studied pretty hard the whole entire place. So we had very high success rate.
So Alex, so you run on the field. Obviously, they finally catch up to you. They take you away. What happens once they lead you away and you get into the sort of the back of the stadium? And what's the deal right now as far as charges?
Yeah, so I mean, the guys, they were just doing their job, you know what I mean? I was trying to run as fast as I can, but there's more of them than there is of me. So they caught it to me pretty quick. As soon as I saw I was cornered, I just threw myself to the floor, put my hands behind my back. I knew I was already,
Right.
I knew I was gone.
I'm caught.
They just put me in the back of the holding cell. It was pretty quick. I was probably there for like 15, 20 minutes. And then they just took me to the actual jail. So they just charged me with like trespassing or something like that. I don't know, bro.
Did you spend the night in jail or did they let you out relatively quick?
No, I spent the night there. It was like a couple hours, but then I got up really early in the morning.
So now what? So now what are you're facing a misdemeanor trespassing charge?
Yeah. So I'm facing trespassing, and then kind of also like influencing in a way because I'm like putting it out there that I like doing this whole thing. So it's a mix of a little things. I have to read the paper, but definitely I'm getting a misdemeanor for sure, and then I have to pay bail and all that stuff. So
Are you? Yeah. What was your bail, by the way?
it was $2,000 or $1,000.
Okay, nothing compared to the tickets.
No, nothing. Yeah.
So that is one of the Vegas streakers who bet on themselves to streak, spent a night in jail, lost $2,000, but ended up finishing about 10 grand up after buying a $10,000 ticket and winning 20,000 on the bet that they themselves controlled. So it was they didn't go full nude, right? I think it was just, was it underwear? Were they wearing pants? I can't remember. I saw the dude was shirtless. It was showing, a lot of people have looked worse shirtless, so that's not necessarily the most flattering place to have yourself blasted all over the internet. But the streaker, I don't know if they'll ever get to do it again because they're too busy doing interviews about it and how well they've gamed the system. That's probably the last time they can cash in that way. But it was funny to see. All right, that's going to do it for us tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Radio show tomorrow. What are we doing on the radio show tomorrow? We'll obviously get into deeper. We'll get into deeper the coaching staff. We will. You'll hear from Brian Callahan. That will be while I'm on the air at 12:30. So we'll carry Brian Callahan, Denard Wilson, and Nick Holtz's press conference live for you. Lucas will be there with you from basically 12:15 until 1 because I'm going to leave at 12:15. Lucas is going to sit in my chair. We're going to have Joseph produce the show while I go down to the facility and do the press conference because I don't want to miss press conferences with new coaching staffs as I try to learn more about the new people who are going to be running your team. All right, that's going to do it for us tonight on the Primetime Show. We appreciate you guys hanging out. Have a great rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow at 10 a.m. on 104.5 The Zone.